I had always heard about the allure of Bangkok, but it wasn't until I stepped foot in the city that I truly understood its magic. My plane landed just as the sun was setting, casting a warm golden glow over Suvarnabhumi Airport. As I exited the terminal, I was immediately greeted by the bustling energy of this metropolis. I could feel the excitement bubbling up inside me as I hailed a cab to my hotel in the heart of the city. My first day in Bangkok was a whirlwind of sights, sounds, and smells. After settling into my hotel, I decided to visit the famous Wat Pho temple. The giant reclining Buddha, with its serene expression and golden glow, took my breath away. Standing in front of it, I felt a deep sense of peace. I spent hours wandering through the temple grounds, marveling at the intricate architecture and learning about the rich history of Buddhism in Thailand. From there, I ventured to the Grand Palace, one of Bangkok's most iconic landmarks. As I walked through the majestic gates, I was in awe of the ornate decorations and towering spires. The Temple of the Emerald Buddha, located within the palace complex, was especially impressive. The atmosphere inside was calm and spiritual, despite the throngs of tourists around me. Of course, no trip to Bangkok is complete without sampling the local cuisine. That evening, I headed to a nearby street market where the aroma of sizzling dishes filled the air. I tried pad thai from a vendor, and it was easily the best I'd ever had. The combination of sweet, savory, and spicy flavors danced on my taste buds. I couldn't resist trying more: mango sticky rice, grilled skewers, and fresh coconut water. The next day, I woke up early and took a boat ride along the Chao Phraya River. The view of Bangkok from the water was spectacular. The mix of traditional temples and modern skyscrapers painted a picture of a city that embraces both its history and its future. As I passed by local markets and neighborhoods, I got a glimpse of the daily life of Bangkok's residents. I made my way to the famous Chatuchak Weekend Market, one of the largest markets in the world. It was a maze of stalls selling everything from clothing to antiques to street food. I spent hours wandering through the market, picking up souvenirs and chatting with local vendors. It was easy to get lost in the lively atmosphere, and I loved every minute of it. One of the highlights of my trip was visiting Jim Thompson's house, the home of the American businessman who revitalized Thailand's silk industry. The traditional Thai-style house was surrounded by lush gardens, and the tour offered fascinating insights into Thompson's life and legacy. It was a peaceful oasis amidst the city's hustle and bustle. As the day drew to a close, I decided to experience Bangkok's famous nightlife. I headed to the lively neighborhood of Sukhumvit, where the streets were lined with bars, restaurants, and nightclubs. The energy was contagious, and I found myself dancing the night away with locals and fellow travelers. Bangkok's nightlife was unlike anything I had experienced before: vibrant, diverse, and endlessly exciting. The next morning, feeling a little tired but still eager to explore, I ventured to Lumpini Park. It was a refreshing break from the city's fast pace. I watched as locals practiced Tai Chi, jogged, and enjoyed picnics by the lake. The park's serene atmosphere was the perfect place to relax and recharge before continuing my adventure. One of the most memorable experiences of my trip was visiting the floating markets just outside the city. I traveled to Dam Non Siduak, where vendors sold fruits, vegetables, and handicrafts from boats. I hopped on a boat myself, floating through the market and sampling fresh tropical fruits. The colors, sounds, and smells of the market created an unforgettable sensory experience. After the market, I made my way to the Bangkrachao area, known as Bangkok's Green Lung. It felt like I had left the city entirely and entered a rural paradise. I rented a bicycle and spent the afternoon cycling through the lush greenery, passing by small farms and traditional houses. It was a side of Bangkok I hadn't expected: peaceful and nature-filled. Later, I visited Siam Square, a popular shopping district. The contrast between high-end malls and quirky boutiques made for an interesting experience. I indulged in some retail therapy, picking up a mix of designer items and unique local products. Siam Square was also home to some of the best food stalls, and I couldn't resist trying a few more dishes, including a delicious bowl of tom yum soup. As my trip neared its end, I decided to take a day trip to Ayutthaya, the ancient capital of Thailand. The ruins of the old city were incredibly well preserved, and I spent the day exploring the temples and palaces that once stood at the heart of the kingdom. Walking through the historical site, I could almost imagine what life was like centuries ago. Back in Bangkok, I spent my last evening at a rooftop bar overlooking the city. As I sipped on a cocktail and watched the skyline light up, I reflected on my journey. Bangkok had exceeded all my expectations. It was a city that seamlessly blended the old and the new, tradition and innovation, chaos and calm. Before I left, I made one final stop at Wat Arun, the Temple of Dawn. Climbing the steep steps of the temple offered stunning views of the Chao Phraya River and the city beyond. It was the perfect way to end my adventure, standing atop one of Bangkok's most beautiful temples as the sun began to set. As I packed my bags and prepared to leave, I realized how much I had grown to love the city. Bangkok had captured my heart with its vibrant culture, delicious food, and warm, welcoming people. I knew I would carry the memories of this trip with me forever. Leaving Bangkok was bittersweet. As I boarded the plane, I promised myself that I would return one day. There was still so much to see, so much to experience. Bangkok had only shown me a glimpse of its wonders, and I knew there was so much more waiting for me. And so, with a heart full of gratitude and a head full of memories, I said goodbye to Bangkok for now. But deep down, I knew it wasn't a farewell. It was just the beginning of my journey with this incredible city.